Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4 with the Waking the Tiger DLC. My name is Sabouts, and I am joined by Commissar Roach.
Hello.
This is essentially kind of our recap.
Or post-mortem.
Post-mortem, because we're totally dead.
Yeah, we have no ability to fend off the Russians right now. I'm looking right here, there's a province with 33 infantry divisions in it. And we're barely able to house in some of these provinces 4 infantry divisions. And we're already suffering losses in terms of our logistics. We're almost 2,000 in the hole for support equipment, 18 in the hole for our motorized. Our infantry equipment could last a little while, but we're losing 2K a day. So we'll be out in 12 days at the current rate of loss. So yeah. There's we're dead.
We got spanked pretty hard by the Russians.
Yeah. So why did this happen? Let's go over that, because this is a new DLC. It changed a lot of things, especially for a nation that has been kind of the same since the game started. It hasn't changed. Like the German tech tree or the German focus tree has been the exact same since the game started. And it's fairly simple. It was fairly simple and easy to follow, but the new focus tree, I like it a lot, but there's some ambiguous language in some of these choices that makes it, what's the word? That kind of changed if we knew what we were doing, if we, after rereading this, after the last recording session, we would have done things differently.
Yeah, we essentially, for people who don't know, we did kind of jump into this blind. I hadn't even really played the game much, and I know you, Roach, had only had a few hours maybe into the new DLC. Yeah. But basically, I had played the new DLC up until the point where I hit revive the Kaiser focus. Like, I finished the Civil War, was what I did with my personal game when I tested the thing out, just to see if there was any glitches and what the stability of the release was. That was it. So basically, let's go over this. Essentially, we wanted to fight the true enemy, which what we thought meant we wanted to fight the Allies. We wanted to fight specifically like the old Entente. But here's the thing. If you read it, focus on the true enemy means the UK. And just the UK. As specifically. Which is why it focuses so much on the naval power. There's the other one, expatriate the communists, and if you keep going down, accept British naval dominance, alliance with the Shade, which is a peace with the UK. It keeps going down, and it means you go ahead and you fight France by making France communist and fighting them. Which is...
we thought that meant expatriate the communists, and the way it looked like that, we thought it, because we didn't hover the mouse over it really that far, we thought it meant fighting the Russians. But that's not the thing. But so we thought we had a choice between focusing on the West or focusing on the East. But that's not how this works. Because you have to focus on both. It's just to what degree do you focus on which when. And we went really heavy into the focus on the true enemy and the naval power and everything, and kind of neglected the eastern side of Germany. Which is where we should have started in the beginning. And to prove that we made that mistake, we were picking up things like support the Finns, safeguard the Baltic, way after those would have been useful. We missed the Winter War. So, by a lot, which supporting the Finns is good, but we picked that up way later. And then I think we've ended up getting, it was a safeguard the Baltic we ended up picking up way after, pretty much half of them are dead. Yeah. Yeah, so it's imperative with the new focus tree, and it's been a while since this came out, so a lot of you guys probably know this, but with the new focus tree, and especially with Germany, it's is in this side here, when you go and revive the Kaiser Reich and you don't establish free elections, so you're going monarchist. Probably even if you don't go monarchist, it's you really want to get these Eastern things done quickly. You want to get bulwark against Bolshevism. You want to see to the Eastern Front. You want to safeguard the Baltic and support the Finns and Danzig for guarantees really early, because that will allow you to not worry about it. Because it's very unlikely that Russia will declare war against kind of a united Baltic that has Germany backing it. Whereas in this game, if we look at the map, they kind of piecemealed the Baltic without Germany's interference the whole time. And then once they dealt with the Baltic, then they could focus on Germany and us, and it's, it's a cakewalk at this point.
Yeah, had we originally built up those alliances in the beginning, it would have been a lot harder for the Soviets to do what they just did.
Yeah, definitely. But there were other things that we, not only the focus tree, there were other things that we probably should have done that we didn't. For a couple of years, we weren't producing any infantry stuff. We were focusing a lot on getting, filling out our cabinet and our research and production and military staff, where we could have been saving it up and changing our conscription laws and putting out new infantry divisions and building up the military. Because here's the thing. We came out of the war. This war started, and we had less than 1 million men in the army in the field in 1939, 1940. You shouldn't do that. You should have at least 1 million men or more as Germany, no matter what, at this time period. So we kind of neglected our production quite a bit when it came to that, so we weren't as aggressive. So it pays, especially when you're dealing with this precarious situation as a German Empire, you need to be very aggressive in everything you do. And we were doing that for naval power, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Like naval power, we were doing great with aggression, but we weren't focusing a lot on the land stuff.
And we had originally kind of, because we mentioned it a bunch of times, how we would have been super happy with being able to beat the UK's naval power, so I think we kind of tunnel visioned on that without even thinking about
Russia.
Yeah, Russia, the big red menace over there.
Yeah, which right now, according to this, is we have 44 divisions against
112.
Actually, 112, and then the other one's got 28 versus 33. But that's we're outnumbered by so many, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of things we did wrong, as well as also focusing on the war with the Allies and the
that I think that was one of our biggest, other than like the actual path we took on the focus tree. I think that was definitely something too, because for the longest time we were kind of just messing around with units down there, trying to help flip that war, because we knew it would be to our benefit if we did, and we completely neglected building any units or anything. That was kind of like where the neglect began, because we just started playing around down there,
making forts on our border, and like we could have just forwarded up our border to hell and back, like a 10 level, like a level 10 forts all along the border with Russia and their forces, and we probably could have held out easily enough, but we didn't do that, and we neglected it, and there was a lot of things we weren't paying attention to the border at all with Russia, and that's where we went wrong, because we were focusing to the south.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's a problem.
Which ended up folding in half anyways, because Italy's pretty much done.
Yeah, they lasted a while. I mean, Czechoslovakia might not last too much longer, but it's not like it really matters at this point. So, yeah, there's a lot of things we could have done differently.
But we learned a lot.
We learned a lot, yeah. The biggest problem was we didn't understand the focus tree, I would say.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely the number one thing. Yeah, if we could go back, I know, and we know what we know now, we would have focused on the East first, because the UK and France were not a threat.
Yeah, focus on the true enemy, or especially the communists. Like, those aren't timed, essentially. Like, you can take those whenever you want. it does help because there's a lot of really great things in those trees. I think focus on the true enemy is the superior of the two, just because of all the naval shit it gives you, like really, really good stuff. But either way, you don't need that. You need the East, because without it, you're fighting Russia. And without all the really good stuff that you get from the Nazi-based tree. Like, because if you take the stuff with taking the Rhineland and supporting Hitler and stuff, you get the Anschluss, which means you get extra factories from Austria. You get the Czechoslovakia. You get Slovakia as an ally. You get the Czech region as your area you take, and you get all their factories, manpower, and things on that. You get an alliance with Italy to help with everything. So essentially, what it means is like when you go over to the supporting the Kaiser, you have to get the allies in the East, and that's the first thing you need to do.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you are screwed.
Because Russia's going to roll right over you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Russia's hard-coded to fight you. I don't think there's a way to not have them fight you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So essentially, that's most of the recap. I mean, there's really not much else to say. We're dead. There's no way to win this. Like, everything I can see right now, we might be able to delay them for a couple of weeks, but they'll break through in the south, because that's the weak point in the line right now. They'll break through in the south, and they'll get to Berlin. Once they take Berlin, it's essentially just a raffle stomp through the German plains, and they'll get to Frankfurt, which will be the second capital, and we'll lose.
Yes.
There's really no way to defend against it. We don't have enough manpower. We're building a lot of guys. We're building guys, but they're not building fast enough. Like we have 15 divisions training, but they're at 1%.
And they'll probably just satellite us more than likely.
Yeah. Or they'll just take over the land, or they'll give some of it to Poland and split it between everybody. There's a lot of things. I will say we are still winning the naval war. There's currently a naval combat going on in the Baltic, and the only capital ship the Russians have left is one battleship that has no morale left, and it's retreating.
I mean, that was one thing we focused on was naval, and we did a really good job. I think
we went from a nothing fleet to now having a fleet of multiple battleships, light cruisers and heavy cruisers and carriers. We've got a decent submarine force. We've got naval we've got naval aviation and stuff going. We went from a nation with no navy essentially to a nation that has a fairly good fleet. I mean, still vastly outnumbered by the British and even the French, but a very good fleet, I would say.
Think if we weren't attacked by the Russians, or if we were able to beat the Russians and we kept going down the path we were going, our naval power would have been probably able to compete at some point with the United Kingdom at the rate we were building them.
Well, yeah, because we're coming out with one destroyer a month, almost 3 light cruisers a year, 2 submarines a month, and we've lost a lot of our naval dockyards because of East Prussia, but we were also making almost 1.5 heavy cruisers a year, and that was we were in the middle of a naval dockyard expansion when the war started.
Yeah, we were.
So, I mean, yeah, we were. And we also weren't in deficit for any of our resources back then. We're in a bit now because they've taken one of our refineries, but we weren't in any deficits. We were trading just fine. We were doing great in terms of everything except for our foreign policy and our military.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything else you can think of to add to this?
No, I don't think so. I think we hit every point. Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
that's about it. There's really nothing else we can say, and it really wouldn't. I mean, we could unpause, but essentially we're just going to be losing for a couple of for another 20 minutes until we lose. There's not much else we can do to fight back.
Exactly. So, I mean, either way, this is something we're going to come back and revisit. We understand the DLC a lot better, and I understand the game a lot more than I did before. So
yeah,
I think
hopefully,
I think this will definitely be something we come back with.
Yeah, well, I think another series is in the pipeline. It won't be directly. It won't be anytime soon. I don't think. You know, I mean, it'll be probably a while.
Yeah,
it'll be a little while before a new series comes out. But we'll definitely come back to this.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll be doing a co-op game again, but we'll be doing something.
We got some ideas.
Yeah, we have some ideas for stuff, so keep an eye out for that. And hopefully it goes a bit better this time or next time. I mean, it couldn't go any worse.
I think that it could only be better regardless of the outcome of the next time.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a short end cap, but I mean, we thought it was going to be anyways. So
yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us for the series, though. We hope that you enjoyed it, regardless of the fact that we got smacked around by Russia. I think we still did an all right job. And we got to check out a lot of the new content, so that was pretty cool as well. But thank you all for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you when we do the next one.